What's going on? Shalom. Shalom. Late to the fullest is not the wanted late. It's the unwanted late. Because and I had to walk. I forgot my notes. And as you can see, this park is like a frisbee golf walking trail park. But right there, there's like a museum, walkthrough museum, like a old, like you could watch like the old mills and the walk through and get on the old train, like, you know, like not really a museum, but like a little area where all the old buildings, historical buildings are, and you can walk through, you know, like a little museum park, right? Then across the street, that's where you could park, unless you park here, but they charge, I think, $5 for parking, and then there's no selling and buying on the Sabbath. So you don't pay for parking, way over there. So I had to go back to get my notes. Apologize, but I stayed faithful to the Most High. Almighty knew. So I was here on time, early, but by the time I got my paperwork, I'm late. So praise the Almighty though. Thank the Almighty. It will be a short service today because there is a lot of news, a lot of stuff going on. Thank the Almighty, I was looking up some news for service today. Man, I don't even want to watch BitChute before you go to sleep, because then your dreams be all like bad. Not like bad dreams like a monster or nothing, but just like how wicked this world is getting. Your mind starts wandering. No, I do not watch TV for enjoyment on the Sabbath or play video games or any of that. It's for watch and pray that these days don't catch you unaware. And it's to bring news to the saints of the Most High that affect the saints of the Most High. So just to clarify that, no, I don't believe watching TV on the Sabbath, playing video games, entertainment stuff on the Sabbath. If you're on Facebook, let it be for Sabbath things, fellowshipping with the brothers and sisters, adding content, spiritual content, watching service, things like that for the Sabbath. So praise the Almighty. You guys doing all right? I'll give it a little bit longer, but since I'm late, we'll jump on. Thank the Almighty for work. Thank the Almighty for opportunity to get more exposure for things. We were supposed to have a meeting yesterday, but the little one was down and stuff like that, so we need all hands on deck, so we weren't able to have our meeting. But we do meetings for the congregation, and we do Zoom meetings for anyone thinking about coming up, being a part of True Hebrews United, and or want to just fellowship, see what we're about, doing your application, or doing your vetting system for those looking for a congregation, actually talking to the people, seeing what they're about, fellowshipping, asking questions, stuff like that. Not everything has to be a debate. It's not everything's who's right and who's wrong. It's let us all come into truth. So we do Zooms, Sabbath night, Sabbath service, Sabbath day. We got blowing the trumpets coming up. So be prepared. Day of Atonement coming up, be prepared. Feast of Tabernacles coming up, be prepared. So get ready for that. Thank the Almighty. Shalom, Sister Gia, Brother Vince. Waiting for a couple more people to get on. In the meantime, I'll do the shout outs from last week, because I forgot to do the shout outs for last week. Heard some people be good at coloring, thinking they're hard because they could color and stuff. All right, so last week, Katura, Chris, Karen, Vinny, Kovesh, Gia, Komari, Ariel, Nava, Kashet, Zahara. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys make it into the kingdom. So, and I do not have the shout-outs for this week, or last week. That was 2 weeks ago, actually. So, let's do it. Welcome to True Hebrews United of the Almighty Yeshua. This is your beloved holiness instructor, discipleship, Joe Saga. About to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor, praise, glory, all reverence to the Almighty Yah through His Son Yeshua Mashiach, the only begotten of the Father. Definitely give double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons, teaching this word, persuading people to repent from their sin, and really doing the things right, marching and praying, because these days will catch you unaware if you're not doing that. Won't deal with that today with the news. All the brothers and sisters, keep the Almighty's commandments, statutes, judgments, precepts, and ways. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. I am Teacher Simon. I am not the only one. There's many out there teaching the truth, and there's few out there teaching the truth. So, fine, if you do not have a congregation, you need a congregation. You cannot be saved without a congregation. You cannot just take this book and save yourself. That's not what He had. He set up apostles and elders and bishops and deacons and evangelists and preachers and teachers. He set these people up for a reason. You cannot save yourself. You cannot baptize yourself. There's no place in the Bible where any person that was not a member were baptizing people. All people, when you read it, any person dipped in water, they were baptized by a minister. And a minister is over a congregation or in a congregation, because there might be more than one minister. So if you don't have a congregation, you need to be praying on that the Almighty sends you and makes your path cross with people that's truly serving the Almighty, truly will love you with sincerity and no feigned or disingenuous love, or without a ulterior motive, but really have true love for you and teach you the way of life. So, with all that said being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and the scriptures do the talking. Let me turn that music off. There we go. The scriptures do the talking. Go ahead and give me Matthew 25. Matthew 25. This is all going to tie into the news too. Matthew 25, I'm going to start at verse 1. Let's get it. We read a little bit of this last time, but we're going to read it now again. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins. So the kingdom of heaven is like 10 virgins, which took their lamps and they went out to meet the bridegroom. So these are people waiting to meet the Most High. He is the bridegroom. They're waiting to meet the Most High, right? And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. And they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil of them, but the wise took oil in their vessels with the lamps. They all knew they needed to be pure, be virgins. They all know that they need to be ready for to be ready when the Almighty or the bridegroom comes. They knew what was expected to them. They all knew they needed lamps, and they all knew they needed oil. They knew what was required to make it to the marriage. And we have a marriage at the last days when He's going to split these crowds, and He's going to come for His people. Let's keep going. Verse 5, while the bridegroom tarried, so time progressed, right? They slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom cometh, get ye out to meet him. So they knew they needed to come out and meet him. Then those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said unto them, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered and said, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them to sell and to buy. And while they went out to buy and sell, the bridegroom came, and they were ready, went in with him to the marriage, or the door was shut. See? So they wanted to get it right at the last minute. But because you did that, you didn't make it in. The door was shut, right? Let's keep going. Maybe like those people in the days of Noah that was probably banging on Noah's ship, talking about let us in. But once the Almighty said shut the door, shut the door. I'm not saying that's what happened, but seeing there's a flood and you see this huge ship that you were mocking this guy that took him 100 years to make, and you see that ship is going to float, I'm pretty sure there's probably people saying, hey, let's go. Remember Noah? He was building that ship. Let's go to that ship before we die. But let's keep going. Verse 11. Afterwards came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said unto him, verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for you know not neither day nor hour wherefore the Son of Man cometh. So it says you need to watch. We know what's expected as being the saints of the Most High, so we need to watch, because we know not when that day is coming. Go ahead and give me 1 John chapter 3. 1 John chapter 3. Starting at verse 1. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of the Most High. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it kneweth him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of the Most High, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be, but we shall know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. Check this out. And every man that has this hope purifieth himself even as he is pure. So it says every man that have this hope purifies himself. We get our life right because we're expecting for him to come. We're expecting the bridegroom to come, and because of that, we make sure we're right and we got our stuff together. Don't be like the unwise virgins that they knew what was expected. Most people that are hypocrites, let's say a lot of the Christians, they know that they're still smoking cigarettes, or they know Halloween is wrong. They know they need to repent from Halloween. They know they need to repent from this. Few Christians I know just absolutely have no idea. The babes, yeah, they come and they repent from drinking and smoking, and they end up at a Pentecostal or non-denomination. They end up at a typical cookie-cutter Christian church. Those people, yes, they don't know because they probably haven't read the whole Bible. They don't know. But the ones that are like ministers or been there for a while, after reading their Bible for a while, they know. They know what's expected. And they choose not to do it. They choose to still listen to rap, or they choose to still do this. They know. Let's keep going. If they didn't know, why did the Almighty use that parallel of the virgins that knew to get a lamp, knew to be a virgin, knew to wait for the bridegroom, knew to come out to meet the bridegroom, but somehow you didn't take, and you knew about your oil. Because if you didn't know about the oil, why did you go to the other virgins talking about, hey, can you share some of your oil? So you knew what was required, but you choose not to meet the requirements, but you still wanted the same reward, which is to get into that marriage, right? Let's keep going. So by the hope of this, we purify ourselves because we know he's coming. This is why it says watch and pray. Now go ahead and give me back to Matthew 25 again. Matthew 25 again. We're going to start at verse 13 where we left off, and we're going to continue on now. Watch therefore, for you know not neither the day nor the hour where the Son of Man cometh. Now look, not only do you need to be ready and be pure, but now look, he also said this at his coming. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling in a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto him his good. And one he gave 5 talents, and another 2, and another 1, and every man according to his several ability. And straightway he took his journey. Then he that had received 5 talents went and traded the same, and made them another 5 talents. And likewise he that received 2, he also gained the other 2. But he that received 1 digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. So not only when he calls you, he expects you to be pure, he gives you the ability. Maybe some could interpret dreams, some could speak in tongues, some could interpret tongues, some could prophesy, some have gifts of healing, helps, administration. Everyone has an ability or a talent that he gives you once you get baptized and you receive his spirit. He gives you a task or a job in his body according to his will, right? So let's keep going. After a long time, the Almighty of those servants coming to reckon unto him. So when you do come to give an account, when he does come, you got to give an account for what you did too. Not just, oh, I kept your commandments. Let's keep going. And so that he that received 5 talents came and brought the other 5 talents, saying, Almighty, thou deliverest this unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained five talents more. He increased, right? His Lord said unto them, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make them ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Almighty. And he also that received 2 talents came unto the Almighty, and came and said, Almighty, thou delivered unto me 2 talents. Behold, I gained 2 other talents besides them. And his Lord said, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make them ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Almighty. Then he which received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathered where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. And lo, there thou hast thine. So he knew. These will be the equivalent of the people that just keep the commandments and is not profitable. They don't work in this field. They're not feeding the homeless. They're not going out and picking up the brothers and sisters, visiting the brothers and sisters, calling the brothers and sisters. They're not out there trying to hand out tracts, trying to invite people to service, inviting people over their house to fellowship, trying to pray for people. These are people that are unprofitable. Yes, they're living holy. They're keeping the Almighty's commandments. But the Almighty gave them abilities and gave them a task, and they chose not to do the task. Let's keep going. Verse 26. And his Lord said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gathered where I have not strawed. Thou ought to have put thy money in the exchangers, and at my cometh I shall receive mine with usury. Therefore, take therefore that talent from him, and give it unto him that which have 10 talents. For every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have an abundance. But for him that have not shall be taken away, even that which he hath. Cast ye that unprofitable servant into outer darkness, where there shall weeping and gnashing of teeth. So not only do we pure ourselves at his coming, also he's expected us to give a progress report on what we did with the time he's given us, with the ability he's given us, right? We late. I didn't even see the notifications. How you late? I called you before I took my long trip to go get my paperwork, so you already knew about service. But anyways, so we see here at his coming, it's all tying into the news today. At his coming, not only we need to be righteous and be clean, we need to work in his vineyard. Like there's a sister out here, I don't really put her on blast and whatnot. I shouldn't even say sister, random person. We'll just call her Sister Wea. Sister Wea. So anyways, she's pushing the line trying to get people saved in prisons and stuff. Like, you know, that says a lot. And there's people in prison trying to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. That says a lot. I remember there was, I think a couple years ago, where you see here, I usually like use a tree as a post, and then I'll do this and I'll build a tabernacle off of a tree, and I'll use 2 trees, and then I can make my booth, right? You know what I'm saying? I use at least 1 tree as a stabilizer and then make the other pegs off the booth. But they were like, oh, well, I couldn't in my backyard, or oh, it was raining, and people that I was witnessing to and working with to try to, you know, lead them to repentance to get baptized. They came with every excuse not to build a booth like the Bible says. And then you see people in prison trying to build a booth to please the Most High and make him happy. And I always keep telling you, whatever standard you're willing to drop, even if there's 10 or 20 people that will drop a standard, there will be people that will lift up a standard. That same standard you'll drop, they'll pick it up and say, Almighty, I'll hold it up. When the Almighty, and when Nebuchadnezzar says, hey, when you hear the sound of the trumpet and the harp and this and this and this, there was Hebrews there. It wasn't just Meshach, Abednego, and Rashach. There was other Hebrews there that went into captivity, and they all dropped a standard and bent the knee. But there was 3 people that says, I'll lift up a standard. I'll go in the fiery furnace. And those were the people that would make it. So whatever standard you drop, oh, it's raining, I don't want to build a tabernacle, oh, it's this. And you're going to find out you're a free man. And there's someone in prison building a tabernacle because they want to repent and do the right thing. You have your freedom and you can't build a tabernacle. They're in prison building theirs. And then you're going to wonder why you don't have enough oil in your lamp at the day of his coming. You're going to wonder why the door's going to be shut and you're not going to make it in. And he's going to say, I know you not. Because you drop standards. Let's keep going. Let's go. Now we deal with 30. Now, watch this. We're going to go to now we're going to go with 30 when the Almighty comes. So we went to 30. Cast that unprofitable servant into outer darkness. Now we're going to go to 31. When the Son of Man cometh, because this all deal when he comes, he deals with the virgins, make sure we're pure. He deals with when he comes, he expecting us to be profitable, that we worked in his vineyard. Now he's dealing with another parable of when he comes again, right? All when his coming, what his expectation and his requirements of when he comes to marry and confirm the covenant, right? Because we're just espoused. The covenant will be truly fulfilled is when we make it into the kingdom. He made a covenant with Abraham that the fulfillment of that covenant, I will make you as the sand of the sea, and I will give you this land. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the 4 children of Israel did not receive the covenant. They were what you will call espoused. The covenant didn't get fulfilled until Joshua came into the land and they were at the sand of the sea and they defeated all these people. Let's keep going. The fulfillment of that covenant, I would say, right? Verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, he shall sit upon the throne, and before him he shall gather all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth the sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, and the goats on the left. And the king shall say unto them on his right hand, Come, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me meat, and I was thirsty, and you gave me drink, and I was a stranger, and you took him in. Naked, and you clothed me, and when I was sick, and you visited me, and in prison, you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer, saying, Almighty, when saw we thee a hungered, and fed thee, and thirsty, and gave thee drink? And when thou saw thee a stranger, took thee in, and when thou naked, you clothed me? Or when saw thee sick or in prison, and came unto thee? And the king answered and said unto him, Verily I say unto you, insomuch as you have done it unto the least of mine, these my brethren, you have done it unto me. So now he's going to say, all right, you repented from sin, and you're working in my vineyard, but how are you treating your brothers and sisters? How are you treating your other family members? You will see that there will be people that repent from sin, like they're living holy. And they will do things to build the Almighty's kingdom, but they will still put sinner family members over the brothers and sisters. They will never have the loyalty that they're supposed to have according to these scriptures for their spiritual brothers and sisters. There's a reason why we call people brothers and sisters. This is why I don't use that word lightly. I don't say, oh, they're in truth, or they're awoke, or this is brother so-and-so, or sister so. I don't give brothers and sisters titles to everyone. And you can say, who are you to choose? It says, hey, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they of the Almighty or not. So the Bible's telling me, don't, like it says, give the benefit of the doubt. The Bible says don't do that. Don't give the doubt of the benefit. I'm not going to just call you a brother and sister on good faith and believe in that, because there's many false churches and many false preachers and many false brethren than true churches, true ministers, and true brothers in the Bible. So there's more false ones than true ones. It says, not everyone that says, Lord, Lord, shall enter in. For many will say, haven't I cast out demons in thy name? Haven't I not prophesied in thy name? Haven't I done many miracles? It says, depart from me, I never knew ye that work in iniquity. It says, but few, many are called, but few shall be saved. So many will profess to be of the Most High, but only few will actually be of the Most High. You follow me? So let's keep going. So it says, how did you take the least of my brethren? Let's keep going now. You did it unto me. Then he shall say, and not no cleft old dollar, when you have sex with your wife, you're having sex with the Messiah, because this is whatever you did unto the least mine, you did unto me. No, that's that false doctrine cleft old dollar said. You could YouTube that, not on the Sabbath, because that's foolishness. Then shall he answer and say unto them on his left hand, depart from me, you cursed, into everlasting fire, prepare for the devil and his angels. Did you know man wasn't even meant for the lake of fire? It was meant for the angels when they fell. The fallen angels and the Satan when he fell. Let's keep going. For I was hungered and you gave me meat. You gave me no meat. And I was thirsty and you gave me no drink. A stranger and you took me not in. Naked and you clothed me not. Sick or in prison and you visited me. And you shall answer and say, Lord, when shall we saw thee hungered or athirst or a stranger or naked or sick or in prison, and we did not minister unto thee? Then he said unto you, I say unto you, insomuch you did it not unto the least of these, you did it not unto me. And these shall go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into everlasting life. So in verse 40, it says, the least of these my brethren. Who's the brethren? Go ahead and give me Matthew 12, verse 46. Matthew 12, verse 46. And this scripture gets me so hot, because I came into the knowledge of this scripture, and it frustrates me that people refuse to receive this scripture in the full content of what it is. Matthew chapter 12, verse 46. Let's get it. While he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brother stood without, desiring to speak with him. Then one instant, behold, thy mother and thy brother stand without, desiring to speak to him. But he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother, and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hands towards the disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brother, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother. Thus who your true family is. Amashiach is literally telling you who your true family is, and then they keep putting sinner family above your spiritual family. How are you going to make it into the kingdom doing opposite of what he's saying? How are you going to do that? Few people have I seen actually put their spiritual family before their natural family, like the Bible said. Few people. Your sinner family, once they go to the lake of fire, you're never going to see them again. These people keeping the commandments, you're going to spend eternity with. Never going to see again eternity with. Them giving the middle finger to the Most High, eating pork, breaking the Sabbath, sinning against the Most High every day, and I'm going to put them above this brother that lost his job because he said he had to keep the Sabbath. This sister that's suffering and got her husband left her because she started keeping the commandments and he didn't want to live holy. Or this woman or this man that went through all this suffering to keep the commandments of the Most High and being a living sacrifice, going in the trenches, suffering, and I'm going to go ahead and keep these people. This brother lost his job for keeping the Sabbath. Your mom's breaking the Sabbath every day and making money. But this sinner, oh, bro, even though that's my mom, I'm going to put her above you. This is why they ain't going to make it in. So he says, hey, the third thing that he's expecting when he comes back. First, when he comes back, you better be pure, right? That whole chapter, make sure you're right. You're a virgin without sin, no leaven, right? You're prepared. You have all requirements, got your lamp. You come out full with oil, right? Second, all right, you come up, you stand before him. He's going to be like, okay, what did you do? How did you work in my vineyard? How profitable were unto you? When am I coming? I want to know how profitable you were. Okay, don't be found wanting. Hey, man, you gave me 2 talents. You gave me 1 talent. Hey, I doubled it. All right, well done. Then he's going to say, how did you treat my brothers and sisters? How did you treat your brothers and sisters while you were in this earth? How did you treat your brothers and sisters? You be found wanting in that. So it's 3 tests, right? 3 expectations at the sign of his coming, what he's going to expect for his people. This chapter is actually deeper than what just reading it, right? So let's keep going. Go ahead and give me Matthew 24. Matthew 24. Verse 43. But know this, that if the good man of that house had known in what watch the thief will come, he would have watched and would have not suffered his house to be broken up with. Therefore be ye also ready, for as so much an hour as you think not the Son of Man cometh, who then is a faithful and wise servant. So it says, hey, you don't know when the Almighty comes. So it says, watch. Whoso is a good and faithful servant, whom his Lord made him rule over his household to give him meat in due season. Blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. When he comes, hey, you doing the right thing, right? Let's keep going. Verily I say unto you that he shall make him ruler over his good house. But if thou be an evil servant and say in thy heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, and began to smite his fellow servants and to eat and drink and drunken, for the Almighty shall the Almighty of that servant shall come in a day which he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he looketh not aware, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him his portion with the hypocrites, and there shall be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Let's go back to 43. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour that the Almighty cometh. So he's giving you 50% of the cheat code to pass the test. He does 50% of it. Because it says watch. So if you're watching, then you're looking for a sign. You're looking for something to happen. And he's dealing at his coming. And if you read, which we're going to get into, we are watching and praying and looking for signs that's notated in the scripture at his coming and at the hope of him We purify himself. And at the open of him, we're pure and virgins, and we have our lamp full with oil. We are actively doing his work and working in his vineyard and trying to bring souls to the Almighty. And we're actively treating the brothers and sisters accordingly and being there for the brothers and sisters at his coming. We're meeting his expectations, right? So he's given us 50% of the answers to the test. The other 50% comes into the scripture. Let's keep going. Go give me let's do the shout outs for last week. And I did the shout outs for 2 weeks ago. All right, she didn't send them out. That's all right. So, Luke chapter 12. Luke chapter 12, verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, what shall I do? Because I have no room wherefore to store my fruits. And he said, I will do this. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say unto the soul, unto my soul that has goods and laid up for many years, take thy ease and drink and be merry. But the Almighty said, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasures for himself and is not rich towards the Almighty. That's the 50% you don't know. You don't know when the Almighty's... I could go and get in a car accident today. Was my lamp full with oil? Did I treat the brothers accordingly and treat the brothers right? Was I active trying to save souls and working in his vineyard? I could look. He gave us the cheat codes because we're going to get into the 50%, what we look for at the sign of his coming. But I don't know when he's going to require my soul. This is why you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. The wise virgins stayed ready. The unwise virgins get ready. And look how they came right when it's showtime at the very end. Now you want to get ready. Let me show you something. Give me Revelations. This is off the dome. I think verse 21, chapter 21. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. Before you do that, let's go back to Matthew 25. I just want to show you one part of that, what we just read, Matthew 25. All right. Verse 6, Matthew 25, verse 6. And at midnight, they were all sleeping. So you can't get ready while you sleep, right? At midnight, there was a cry saying, behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. So it's time. The Almighty's coming. And all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said, give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered and said, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went out to buy, the bridegroom came, and then at the time they were ready to went in with him to the marriage, the door was shut. And afterwards came also the virgins saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. So they try to get right at the last minute. Now Revelations 22. Revelations 22. I'll go with verse 10. Revelation 22, verse 10. And he said unto me, seal not these sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand. So this is dealing when he's going to come back. He that is unjust, let him stay unjust still. And he that is filthy, let him be filthy still. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. And he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and last. But he's saying, man, don't try to get right at the last minute. When I come back, if you're unrighteous, you just stay unrighteous still. If you filthy, you just stay filthy still. That is what's going to happen to these 5 unwise virgins. A lot of people's going to see the signs of his coming, and they're going to realize that they played. And they're going to try to get their life together. But it's not an overnight thing. And it's going to be too late. You just stay unrighteous still. When that flood came in the days of Noah, and he said, Noah, go ahead and get in the ship. And he shut those doors, and that rain started coming, those geysers started coming, and that flood started coming. I wonder how many people was trying to get their life right. How many people's on their deathbed, and they're going to die in their iniquity, saying, Almighty, if there's a God out there, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Please let me in the kingdom, even though I'm 85 years old, and I've been giving you the middle finger all 85 years. And 10 or 20 people came to me and talked to me, and I didn't want to hear about the Bible. I didn't want to hear about repentance. I wanted to smoke my weed and drink this and drink this. But now that I'm on my deathbed and I'm reaping what I sow for my iniquity, please forgive me. Please forgive me. I didn't want to know anything about you. Haven't even tried to read the Bible, but I'm about to die, and there might be a heaven and hell, and maybe I'm wrong, and there is a God in heaven. Now I want to no, you stay filthy still. You stay filthy still. You stay, he's saying it right here. He that is unrighteous. Why would the Almighty say, he that is unrighteous, you stay unrighteous still? Don't even worry about it. It's not for you. It's not for you. Because you waited until the last minute. Neither was for those 5 unwise virgins, was it? Because they waited to the last minute. This is why it says, the hope of him, we purify ourselves. Last scripture, and we're going to tie this into the news today. Luke chapter 21. That's a trip that the Almighty says, you just stay unrighteous. Don't even worry about it. When I start breaking clouds, and I start putting plagues and pestilence and all this stuff, and when I start showing up, and you see these signs coming, don't even worry about it. It's already too late. Luke, this is why it says, the day you hear the Almighty's voice, harden not your heart. Luke 21. Verse 1. And he looked up, and he saw a rich man casting in gifts into the treasury. And he saw a certain poor woman casting, we'll skip that part, but we'll go with verse 5. Then he spoke of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gift. And he says, as for these things which shall Sheol, the days will come that there shall not be one stone left upon another, and there shall not be thrown down. And they asked him, said, Master, when shall these things be? The destruction of Jerusalem. And what is the sign? And what sign will these what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? Okay, so he's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem. Now, if you read in Luke or Matthew, it says, "When shall the destruction of Jerusalem, the sign of the coming and the end of the world?" So he's asking 3 separate questions, and they're not all going to happen at the same time. But what happens is most Christians, they take this chapter or they take the other one, and they combine them all in one process. But destruction of Jerusalem, the sign of his coming, and the end of the world, it's 3 different events. So let's keep going. It says, take heed that you be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Almighty, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions and terrified of these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet, by and by. So it says, first, we're going to see false stuff, but this ain't the end of the world, right? Let's keep going. And they said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes, and there shall be divers places, and famine, and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs there shall be from heaven. See, he's giving you all these signs to watch and pray. This is the 50% of he's saying the sign of his coming to look out for. Let's keep going. Behold, all these things shall lay their hands, and they shall lay their hands on you, and persecute you, and deliver you into the synagogues and prisons, and brought you before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And that happened to the apostles. And it shall turn you and it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth of wit and wisdom, in which your adversary shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And you shall be betrayed by parents, the sinner parents, and brethren, and kinfolks, and friends, and some of you shall cause to be put to death. These same sinners that you put before the brothers and sisters, these are the same people that's going to do you in the end. And I've seen it happen now, and this ain't even the end times. I've seen it happen where someone died, or situations, and those same family members you thought were your family members, all it took was mama to die, and you guys fought over the house or the life insurance or the car or whatnot. All it took is the right situation, and you realize that that family or that blood is thicker than water. All that stuff don't mean nothing. Just because we have the same blood, they feel like they have the liberty to defraud you. Have you noticed that family members think it's okay? It's my brother. If I take some money and don't pay him back, he's my brother. They always think that it's okay to do your family members grimy. But natural people, they won't. I mean, there's people that would do you grimy, but they're less likely to do you grimy because they don't know you. But it's your family members will be the ones that really backstab you the worst. Let's keep going. Verse 11. And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not be one hair of your head perish. And your patient possess your souls. And when you shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then you shall know the desolation is nigh. So the destruction of Jerusalem, which happened when the Romans came, right? Then let them which are in Judah flee into the mountains, leave. And let them which are in the midst depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter in. So leave. It says, when you see the Romans come and occupy Jerusalem to destroy it again, we are under rule, but there was a revolt. We revolted under the Roman rule, and they came and destroyed us. But let's keep going. For these be the days of vengeance, and all these which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto you that are with child, and them that give suck in those days, for there shall be great distress in the land, and the wrath upon this people. See, how is that talking about the end of the world if he's talking about if you have a child? Let's keep going. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and they shall be led away captive into all nations, which happened. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So the time of the Gentiles is now. So let's keep going. I'm going to read one more chapter, and I'm going to interject one more verse. And there shall be signs of the sun and the moon and the stars upon the earth, and distress and nation and perplexity in the seas and the waves and the roaring. Now, between 23 and 25, this is when Daniel's vision and Isaiah's vision happened. So the time of the Gentiles, some of what Daniel prophesied and some of what Isaiah prophesied, the time of the Gentiles is now. This is days that say they are Jews or not, but the synagogue of Satan, like in Revelation. This is their time of the Gentiles to occupy Israel. It says, I will cast you out of my land, and I will gather you back from all nations I sent unto you. So let's keep going. Men's heart fell in them for fear, for looking of those things which are coming upon the earth, and the powers of the heaven that shall be shaken. And yes, this is true. Don't think these elites are not building bunkers. They're saying, I think even in South Korea, they have over, I forgot how many. I think it was like 80,000 underground, they call them DUM, deep underground military bases. That's the acronym DUM. I think the U.S. has 1,800 or something underground military bases under airports and everything. Don't think these people know, because these Satan worshipers, they know what's coming. They're going to blame it on aliens. I don't care what they blame it on, right? They're prepared. They got solar and generator and water, and they're doing all their stuff to prepare for what's to come. Let's keep going. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things should begin to come to pass, look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. So it says you will see the sign of the Almighty's coming, right? So, from 23 to 28, you'll see Daniel, a lot of Daniel, because and Revelations, because you will see the plagues, the vials, and the trumpets be blown or poured upon the earth. When we see the Almighty come, that will be at the last trumpet. So keep that in mind with Revelation chapter 8, 9, and 10. That will line up in between verse 23, the destruction of Jerusalem, to 28. And he spake unto them and said, Behold, a fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, you shall know that your own self, that the summer is now at hand. So likewise, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Almighty is nigh at hand. For verily I say unto you that this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. So he's giving you 50% of the test, because we're supposed to be watching and praying and looking for these signs coming and making sure we're ready, right? But if you don't see any of these signs, you're like, okay, the world isn't wicked enough, because just like the days of Noah, so shall be the coming of man. The world isn't wicked enough. I got time. But it's not time to play with sin. It's not time to be unproductive. It's not time to not show love to the brethren, because you neither know what day or night he requires your soul. So you always have to stay ready. You know not when the Almighty cometh, because he can knock on your door today, and today could be your last day. Then are you ready? Just because you don't see any of the signs, oh, I don't see the man of sin, or I don't see the mark of the beast, or I don't see no vials, and a third part of the earth, of the trees aren't destroyed, and a third part of the fish in the earth, I'm not seeing these signs. I got time. Yeah, you may have time for the Almighty to come back, but he can knock on your door at any time and require your soul, right? Let's keep going. So likewise, when you shall see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Almighty is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you that this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Take heed to yourselves, let at any time your hearts be overchild, were surfeited in drunkenness and cares of this life, so that the day come upon you unaware. Whether he knocks on your door personally, or he comes to knock on the whole world's door, and is calling everyone. For as a snare shall it come unto them that dwell upon the face of the earth. Watch therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape these things that shall come to pass, to stand before the Son of Man. And when he says these things that shall come to pass, you need to read Daniel and you need to read Revelation, because it says there's going to be a Jacob's trouble. The whole world is going to get poured. They're going to be drunken with the wrath of the Most High. We got vials, we got trumpets, we got plagues, we got famine, we got destruction upon the whole world and these people that take the mark of the beast. But he's saying, watch and pray. So, for you to escape these things, because the only time he's really going to take us is with the last trumpet. We will be here for all 6 trumpets. And when the wicked one makes war against the saints and prevail against them, right? You got to be a prepper. You have to be a prepper. But let's deal with the news, and we're going to tie that back to the prepper. So, some news today. Some of them I have some things I'll read, and some of them I do not. Okay. Bill Gates secretly harvesting wood. So, they got a secret plan to where the dead trees, supposedly, instead of them letting it go for wood to be logged and build buildings and whatnot, they're burying them to supposedly not release carbon into the atmosphere when it decomposes. Now, we have to do more research on that, but he was trying to do a covert, and all I'm saying is that's a little suspicious when you're deforesting the earth intentionally and burying the wood for carbon reasons. Anything that Bill Gates do, and especially he does on the low, be secretive. He's doing mosquitoes and releasing mosquitoes in Florida and California, be suspicious. He's trying to have mosquitoes and I think it was ticks or whatnot, that you could put vaccinations or viruses in these mosquitoes and release them out into the atmosphere. Be careful. When he's talking about the next pandemic, oh, maybe it's kind of weird that you're releasing mosquitoes and then random people are getting sick all of a sudden. Hey, just watch out for that, right? Speaking of Bill Gates, the microchip he has the patent for. People, and what's weird is I looked this up, and then they'll say fact check. He's not doing that. Did you know Bill Gates hires a whole team to anything that tells what he's doing, or anything that says anything negative about Bill Gates? They will censor it off the internet, or they'll put a whole bunch of things. Fact check, this is not true, this is not true. This is why you need to scroll down a couple of pages to try to get a website that's actually putting a decent article about Bill Gates. So about, oh, he's not doing the microchips and vaccination. So let's go with the pictures. All right. Bear with me, I might have to find the right one. All right, so the patent is 060606. So the patent number is 060606. So 666, right? So it's a microchip. He started in 2020, but then it's like introduced 2021, 2022. The human body activity associated with the task, provided the user may be used in a mining process of a cryptocurrency system. A service may provide a task to a device or a user in which the communicatively coupled to the server, the sensor communicatively coupled or to a compromise to in the device. The user may sense the body's activity by the user. Body activity data may be generated based upon the sensed body activity of the user. The cryptocurrency system, commutatively coupled to the device of the user, may verify the body activity satisfies one or more conditions set by the cryptocurrency service and award cryptocurrency to the user whose body activity data is verified. So based upon what you do, you get some Scooby snacks. So if you're a good little and you don't say nothing bad about the government or say this and this and this, here's your Scooby snack. Here's your cryptocurrency. Here's your universal basic income. It's coming. Patent is here. Bill Gates is backing it, right? And you see how far this could go? Because it's going to be a social credit system. Oh, like in China, you jaywalk, your credit score is down. Like a normal credit score to get house loan and car loans and stuff like that, your credit score goes down. So based upon your credit score, it depends on how much money they give you on universal basic income. Here you go. You want this? Oh, you said that. You did this. You went here. You did this. You didn't take the vaccination. Oh, we can't give you that much money, right? Let's keep going. You could look this patent up. You could Google it, whatnot. It's patent 060606. All right, let's keep going with the news. See, it's coming. It says watch and pray that these days don't come anywhere. So you'll neither buy or sell unless you take this mark. So they have this microchip. It's already laid out. They already been doing microchips, like in Mexico and different, so for security clearance and stuff like that. But they're going to try to make it mainstream. They're going to appeal to the youth. See, it's cool. You just don't even need your wallet. This and this and this. Google Pay, everything. You don't even need your wallet. You could open up your house. You could open up your car. You could go to the airport with the wave of your hand. Then they're probably like, we got $100 bonus. So you get $50 gift card at McDonald's if you go. They're going to try to spend all that stuff and incentivize you to take this chip, and then they can control you. They know what you spend. They know where you're at all times. They know what you do, and we're going to get into Elon Musk with the Neuralink too. So, next news. Missing children in Maui. So 2,000 children are missing after these fires. Sounds suspicious. How we got 2,000 children missing? How you got that many children missing? And I was looking on BitChute, and they were saying that they're finding a lot of children in sewers and in underground tunnels. It's kind of weird that deep underground military bases is kind of don't think it says spiritual wickedness in high places. Now you could say it's a conspiracy theory, but at one point you don't need to rule out. It'll be naive to rule out how evil people could be. I would rather be a conspiracy theorist than to rule out, my government would never do that. A satanic people will never do that. People will never kidnap. People will never be a pedophile. People will never steal. My government will never be evil. I'd rather be a conspiracy theorist and doubt everything I see on mainstream media. It is safer to do that and take precautions and make your moves based upon the opposite when they have crisis actors like the ones in Maui, or a crisis actor with 9/11, or with that club that got shot up, or with the school that got shot up, and some of them it's the same 3 actors. Look it up, crisis actors. And to say, you think that was planned by the government? You're a conspiracy theorist. You think your government is for your benefit? Who's really? I'll make my plans and I do my money and I make certain moves in my direction is based upon the government is my enemy versus you just blindly believe your government. Let's see who's going to be on top in the end. I got some more news for that, but let's keep going, right? So I'm going to still do some research because that's a lot of missing children. And then speaking of that, with the I believe it was a heat generated weapon, because they already have lasers on ships, that could shoot down jets. Look it up. They have lasers that could cause fires, jets, and missiles to burn down. That's on Navy ships and all that stuff, right? Aircraft carriers and all that. They already have that. So if a satellite could bring that down, and then they were saying everything with the blue buildings. They look at the government buildings in Maui and the blue buildings. They didn't get burned up. Houses that had blue, everything blue didn't get burned up. And I looked up blue laser, and there's blue lasers and there's red lasers. And certain lasers come with, every color has a frequency. And I'm not no laser specialist, so bear with me. You could fact check this. But a blue laser, when you shine a blue laser, a heat, whatever, a shiny blue laser, another color blue reflects from it. So if you have a weapon that is a blue laser type, burning grass and trees and houses, when it hits blue, that color blue, that frequency, it can't burn through that frequency. Now you could look that up for sure, and you'll see that a blue laser won't burn through blue. So whatever weapon they have, it might be through a blue lens, if it's called a lens, or whatever frequency, or however lasers are made. You can look it up and do some detailed research on that yourself. Neuralink. With Bill Gates during Neuralink, he got passed. Get some microchips. So it goes past, if you're paralyzed, your body can move. You can move your body. Or it records certain transactions with monkeys. I got quite a bit of news, but I'll deal with it. The first thing with Neuralink, there's some websites. They had a monkey play a video game, and then they put a chip in it and recorded the brain waves and the frequencies and the neurons that are sparking, and they put it on another monkey that never played the video game, and the monkey picked it up right away because it transferred that information, so it can help you be smarter and whatnot. Another one is, say you're paralyzed in the middle of your body, they put a chip here. First they record all your brain waves like you're trying to move your legs and everything. They put it on their chip, and your chip, it will react to your chip, and then you could learn how to walk. So it's helping people learn how to walk. But once again, I know they could put microchips, and depending how it sparks off and plays with your neurons, it can make you sad, it can make you depressed, it can make you happy. They say that it can record, it records you, your algorithm. It knows when you're sad or when you're happy, and knows how you're feeling, and would you want someone to have that much power? So imagine having a Neuralink. That's kind of weird. It says a mark on your forehead or in your right hand. So maybe people have a Neuralink, Elon Musk Neuralink, in their forehead, and then they have a microchip in their hand, and you can't buy or sell. That'd be weird. I don't know. I'm not saying that's going to go down, but kind of weird how that plays out. So Elon Musk is not your friend. All right. You know how there's a good cop and there's a bad cop, and they always bring the bad cop first. If you don't know how psychology works, especially cops, they'll bring the bad cop that's disrespectful and this and what's and that, and you put your guard up, and you're like, oh, this and this, get out my face, this and this, and something like this, and you give him pushback, right? Because he's disrespectful, and they're trying to get information from you, and so the good cop can like, oh man, just go, just man, take it easy, and he'll tell the bad cop to go away. He's like, hey man, my bad, dude, my partner's, hey dude, what's the deal, man? This and this and this, and you feel like this good cop is giving you a sense of respect, so then you let your guard down, and you actually give him more information than you should, and he just takes that information and they arrest you anyways, right? There is no good cop or bad cop, because if the bad cop punches you in the face and uses proves fatality, you think that good cop's going to rat him out? You know how many good cops will be, because they'll get blackballed. Even if they wanted to, they'll get blackballed. They're all bad. I didn't rape the girl, but I was at the house and I knew she was getting raped and I didn't do nothing about it. You're just as bad as the rapist. Same thing. There is no good cop, bad cop. They're all bad. If you run across a bad cop, the partner is just as bad. Let me clarify that, because there are some decent cops with some morality out there. But say you run across a cop that's abusing his power, illegal search and seizure, unlawful detention, trying to detain you for no reason, abusing his power, and he has a partner that just keeps quiet and looking, they're both bad. Let me clarify that. Not if there's good cops. We do need police officers. That whole defund the police is stupid. Even in the Bible, you have law, you have judges, there's structure, there's order, there's people to prevent people from being pedophiles and murderers and thieves and whatnot. You need security out there. You need police force out there. Let's keep going. So he got that Neuralink and that AI. Oh, what else with the AI? Speaking of the AI, Washington Post and Disney has put code in their websites. So when you use Chat GPT, the AI can't go to the website and gather the information and give it to the people. You have to actually go to the website, or you have to actually go to the Washington Post. AI is taking over in all aspects. There's an AI that they're using. The most failed arrests, false arrests especially towards black women, is because of AI. So they'll use AI technology for face recognition, and then they'll arrest people, and then they'll be the wrong person. So I got arrested for no reason off of computer code, for some computer code. No, that's not cool, right? But they have AI now in grocery stores that's supposedly 100% active, and it monitors the cameras. It looks at all the cameras you have, and then pretty much if the AI detects like someone putting something in the coat or putting something in their back pocket or whatnot, it sends an alert to the security, and the security could come to them. And the guy says it's 100% successful. I don't know if the AI picks up someone doing this or whatnot, but you never know. So they're using AI for security now, because a man can't watch all cameras or whatnot, but he gets an alert, guy in the black shirt, this and this and this, and he'll just go, "Hey, sir." And the AI detected it, and this is how they're catching thieves in grocery stores, and I think in the UK or somewhere in Europe, right? So this AI stuff is getting out of hand. They're doing too much, right? But it's not going backwards. It's only going to get worse. Let's keep going. I dealt with New Orleans mask mandate. Now, I think I told you guys like 2 leaks had been leaked out that they were going to do a mask mandate and do a lockdown. And now he's already talking about this new variant. They're already talking about trying to do a mask mandate. Now, remember, how did 2 things? How did Joe Biden get into office? And we'll deal with that too. It was during a shutdown. Now, a shutdown, you do mail-in ballots. You didn't have to actually come there in person and someone seen you and you sign for it and do it. So it's easy to falsify votes during a lockdown. And all of a sudden, because Trump's polls is doing better than Biden's, actually, I think another one, JFK polls, that JFK's Jr. or whatnot, his polls is actually doing better than, even the Democrats polls, everyone's doing better than Biden, right? So his polls is doing better. So let's try to arrest this guy for indictment and put him in jail, whatnot. And if that doesn't work, let's do a lockdown. So because of this, for you to put in your votes, you just got to mail it in. And we can't confirm that you're an actual person because we want to do voter fraud. But let's deal with this voter fraud. And I don't know if it happened or not, but let's go with the voter fraud. All right. Okay, 2020. All right. Total, I'm going to just speed through this. Department of State shows the total registered voters was 9,900,062,607. So almost 7 million. So let's say 6,900,000. The total people voted was 6,700,000. So there's a difference of 220,000, right? That actually voted. Among the 6,962 total ballots was 6,937. So how, if only 6,760,000 voted, how do you have 6,931,000 votes? How do you have more votes than registered voters, than people that actually voted? How do you have more votes than people that actually voted? How does that happen? So let's keep going. The difference of 200,000 more voters cast than voters together. So it says that Joe Biden received 80,000 more votes than Trump. So I don't know. There's a 200,000 discrepancy. And somehow Biden came into office. We'll never know. They'll never admit. You know what I'm saying? So that was during the lockdown, right? To where you can't confirm who came. They show videos for mayors for voting fraud, and they have cameras around the mailbox drop-in ballot, and there will be people with a whole stack of votes just putting it in the voting box. They catch them all the time. I'm talking about full stacks. They're reaching in their car, pulling full stacks of votes for voter fraud, right? This all wicked. Oh, my government will never. Oh, the Democrats or the Republicans. Oh, they'll never. Okay, go ahead and be blind. That's cool. If you want to believe that and believe your, go ahead. Let's keep going. Now, also with these mandates, he's creating another. There's going to be a King Cobra variant. A King Cobra variant's been found in certain states in different parts of the world. There's a King Cobra virus coming out. New variant of King Cobra virus. And I say Cobra for a reason, because there's a spike protein that they used from a serpent to make this man-made King Cobra virus. And this man-made King Cobra vaccine is from a serpent. If you look that up, you could look that up. They took spike protein from a King Cobra and another steak to make a vaccine, right? Let's keep going. A King Cobra vaccine, right? And it's kind of odd because out of the Garden of Eve, what was that beguiled Eve? The serpent. When it refers to the wicked one, that old serpent and the dragon, Satan. And it's kind of weird that they took and made a King Cobra virus from the spike protein of a serpent. Look that up. Don't believe me? Look it up. A lot of this stuff you're going to have to research. I'm just paraphrasing, right? So, they're making a new King Cobra virus. And Biden, you have to look at YouTube. He's trying to say that everyone, he wants everyone to take it. I know they're going to get pushback because people found out with people taking certain King Cobra stuff and face being paralyzed, myocarditis, falling over dead. People's not going to be feeling that round two, right? So he's going to try to make that. Speaking of this new King Cobra, let's get with this. Where did I do it? All right, I think I screenshotted it. All right, this is on the cdc.gov website, and I'm gonna just read something a little bit. I ain't gonna say too much. It says BA.2.86 may be more capable of causing infection in people who have previously taken the King Cobra vaccine. Scientists are evaluating the effectiveness of the upcoming updated King Cobra vaccine. So what it's saying is this new variant, this new King Cobra out there, this new species of King Cobra, the people that will get it more and more likely to get it and have more damage are the people that took the old King Cobra vaccine. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? They forced this King Cobra on you a couple years ago. And then when they try to say, oh, it'll work, all this and this, and it doesn't work, it doesn't protect, it doesn't do nothing. Now they say, oh, we have a new King Cobra, a new species coming out. And to prevent this, you need to take this new King Cobra vaccine. Because you took the last one, you're more likely to die. You're more likely to die, so you need to take this one. This one's the updated one. You better take this one. I'm pretty sure they realized that people stop taking those stupid boosters. People start seeing the effects. People start seeing how Pfizer and Moderna were hiding information and hiding statistics. And you could look at the death rate and the miscarriage rate and the myocarditis, how all these numbers spiked up as soon as this King Cobra solution came out, right? As soon as people start taking this King Cobra bite in their shoulder, all the abortions, stillborns, myocarditis, funerals. If you look at the funerals, how many people died in these years? Everything went up once this came on the scene. So people are like, I'm good. They're going to get actually more pushback. Now, the second thing is he's trying to make it mandated again. The third reason is they're losing this war. So if they could shut down the whole world again, right? Say they shut down and they could make, this is speculation, they could stop the war in Ukraine. And then they could say, oh, because you guys stopped the war, Ukraine, we're going to stop. Hey, you need to make peace. Just give up some of your land, make peace. You guys already stopped fighting, make peace, and this and this. And this is a way that the U.S. or the Western power could leave out of this war without looking like a loser. Because they know good and well they're losing. They're losing to the point where they use cluster rounds. Instead, they're running out of rounds, so they're using cluster rounds, which few nations actually didn't ban it. I think Russia, Ukraine, and U.S. didn't ban it, but all the other Geneva Conventions banned cluster rounds because they stay there for years, and then years later, little kids are picking up. 10 years after the war, they see this little ball, and they think it's a toy, and it's really an explosive because it clusters out a whole bunch of little tiny explosive, and not all of them explode when they drop to the ground, and it maims soldiers and it maims little kids, so they banned it. Geneva Convention, right? So now they're going to use depleted uranium. If you look at depleted uranium, they're sending depleted uranium to Ukraine. If you look at those rounds, they cause, in Iraq, there's women that are still given deformed children to this day. I'm talking about just deformed, face all birth defects, mental retardation. This is still happening to Iraq because that stays in the soil for years. And they shot out of their tank rounds 27,000 tons on these Iraqs. And years later, they are still having a high birth defect rate, having a whole bunch of retard kids because of something that some Saddam Hussein nuclear weapons that did not exist, right? Years later. And now they're giving it to Ukraine to shoot on Ukraine land or Russia land. Who cares? It's going to cause permanent damage. Why are they doing that? Because they're sore losers. They're sore losers. And they're losing this war, and they're not going to keep face, and people are rebelling in Africa, and people's not wanting to listen to you. Then you could sanction this and sanction this, and the more things they do, the more enemies they create. They're getting to the point where, oh, you sanction me, I'll just go to BRICS. Forget you then. That's fine. I'll go to BRICS. I'll go to BRICS. You want to sanction me? You want to weaponize your currency? You want to weaponize the banking system? We'll go to BRICS. We'll go to your competitor then. Oh, don't do that, but you sanction us. You sanction me just because I don't do LG, alphabet, group, and wokeness. I don't support wokeness. You're going to sanction me? No, so be it. So I'm not saying they'll do that, but that'll be a good way for them to get out this war and not look like a loser. Oh, just shut it. Oh, it's a shutdown. It's a shutdown. Let's shut down and get you on stimulus. We'll cut out stimulus again. But guess what? This time, we're going to do it on a crypto card, or we're going to do it. We're going to dish out the stimulus with cryptocurrency, or you know what? Because of all this, we need to start a CBDC, a central bank digital currency. This to solve this, because the money, remember how they were getting rid of cash and closing banks because you could send the King Cobra virus through coins and through money, because people cough on their money and they give it to the teller. And then, so we need to get rid of cash. And the solution to that for this pandemic is to do a CBDC. And we're losing this war too. So how can we get out of this war without looking like a loser? Let's shut the whole world down. That way we could do voter fraud again and still get Biden in, even though his polls showing he's losing. Even the Democrat JFK has better polls than Biden. We could shut down. Then when we release the lockdown, we could say, Ukraine, just stop the war. All right, wherever the line is, do your peace treaty. And it says, yeah, we negotiate. We're the big U.S. and Western, and we made a peace deal, and this and this and this and this. And this is how they could get out the war without looking like a loser and taking that L, right? So let's keep going. I haven't done news in a while, so kind of do a little bit of news, but a lot of stuff's been going on. So they're looking about a lockdown. So you guys in Babylon and whatnot, save your money, get ready, get your money out of the banks. Gonna get a lockdown. Get as much of their stimulus money and put that in apps. They want to give you your stimulus money. I like sister. There's a sister Whitney. She took that stimulus money. She flipped it. Oh, you want to? Oh, okay. You want to do this lockdown? You think I'm just gonna spend? Oh, put your stimulus money that they're going to do, if they do this lockdown, because they're going to do the mask mandates, if they do a lockdown in October or November, if it happens, and we don't rebel and stop it or whatnot, and they give out stimulus checks again, buy assets, buy preps, get yourself prepared. So, it might happen, it might not. I think they want it to happen, but I feel U.S. is going to give a much pushback. They already went, I think in Israel did a report showing how natural immunity you're 13 less likely to get the virus by natural immunity than, or to re-get it, than if you took a King Cobra vaccine. And for people, for symptoms, you're more likely to have hospitalization. Look up, it's an Israel study of whatnot. Put King Cobra study, Israel study or something. Put that in Google and they'll show you the studies. You're 7 times more likely to go to the hospital if you get the King Cobra versus if you did not take the King Cobra vaccine. So you got to look that stuff up. So I think there might be pushback, and we might be slowing these deep state elites and these satanic powers. But Bible prophecy still will be fulfilled. That just buys us more time to get ready. You know what I'm saying? That sees, at least we see what they're trying to do. We fought back and we won the mandate a couple years ago, but we know eventually we will lose because Bible prophecy has to be fulfilled. Both small and great, rich or poor, they will not be able to buy or sell unless they have the mark. Eventually, these wicked people will win. But the more we fight back, the more we slow their progress down. That gives us time to get prepared. Let's keep going. Next one. I think I only have a couple more. Oh, speaking of that, dealing with that virus. You know I'm going to keep dealing with this stuff because it's important. The health risks, if you get the King Cobra, if you get the King Cobra, if you're obese and you get that, you're at a higher percentage of mortality. They have a higher mortality risk if you're obese or you're a diabetic and you get bit by a King Cobra. So they're out here making man-made things out here, right? They're gain-of-function stuff. So if a King Cobra bites you, a man-made King Cobra bites you, and you choose to be obese, and you choose to be a diabetic, and you need to get that in line. Start losing weight, start getting that stuff. Maybe you can't reverse diabetes, but you could watch your sugars, and you could watch what you eat, and you could watch your diet, and you could exercise. Because, you can't be the Almighty's temple and then destroy it by diet and lack of exercise. No, that's not what he made you for. So let's keep going. Next topic. You can look this up too. Look up King Cobra and obesity, or King Cobra and diabetes. This all this stuff, you can look it up. Next news. JP Morgan hiding evidence. They went to the bank and said, "Hey, you've been Epstein's been using you as a bank for, I think, 15, 20 plus years." And so they didn't want to give up all the accounts that were delivering money into Epstein's account and who owned those accounts. They waited as long as they can, because now they're doing an investigation and they're trying to hide evidence on who was doing an account. And the weird thing about it is, if I want to deposit $5,000 or $10,000 into my bank, just me to deposit, they ask you a whole bunch of questions. Or if you wanted to take it out. So how is this guy getting all these deposits? And then you don't know, I don't know who deposited from what bank account. They said some of these came from an unknown address and they only did one time. It wasn't even like, repeat and whatnot. And so now JP Morgan's trying their best to hide his bank account information, because if you find out who's paying these people, these certain accounts, people in the States, whatever presidents, Henry, the King Henry or whatnot, been to that island, all that stuff, you could tie all these, somehow they don't know. Just like you don't know the cocaine, how the cocaine got in the White House, right? Let's keep going. I think that's it for today. That's all the news. I dealt with that. Oh, so my main point, bringing to the service of watch and pray that these days don't catch you unaware, and the hope of this we purify ourselves, is that when he says pray that and watch that you may be able to be worthy to escape these days that's going to come, you have to be a prepper. The reason why I bring the news is for you to make preparations for what's coming. If you know that there's going to be a shutdown, there's a good opportunity that your job may be down. So maybe you need to start saving your money. And if you save a little bit more than normal and the shutdown doesn't happen, then hey, you could invest it or whatever, right? Maybe you need to check out who's hiring on something that may be considered essential. It may not be a full shutdown. It may be a partial shutdown, but prepare yourself. And the thing about being a prepper, because if we got to go 3.5 years to 7 years of persecution as the saints of the Most High and dealing with these vows and stuff prepared, you need to have preparation. I'll show you something real quick. Like this, for instance. Now, most people don't even have jumper cables. This is a little thing. This is not an advertisement. But you keep it in your car. You could charge it with your car charger, cigarette lighter, right? So if your battery dies, you could jump your battery. Now, you'd be like, oh, that's $60. I don't want to spend on $60. I never use it or whatever, right? You could say whatever reason why you do not want to buy one of these. Most people, I've ran across more people that don't even have jumper cables in their car than actually have jumper cables in their car. And that should be like a spare tire. Jumper cables and a spare tire and a jack, and then the bar, I forgot what it's called, the key to do your jack. That should be mandatory. Some gloves and a first aid kit and a flashlight or something. That should be like mandatory every vehicle, right? So my main point is buying preps has zero value as of now, because just being honest, when you buy your preps, you don't use them. You don't use your preps, but if you do need it, it becomes priceless. Because when I buy, they say multiply it by 10. So if I spend $20 and I buy some rice, right? $20 and I buy some rice. Like, man, $20 buy some rice for emergency, and you're not going to use it because it's a prep, right? So you just put it in there, you save it, rice or first aid kit or whatever, right? You just buy it, and it's useless. It holds no value. But that $20 would turn into times 10. I don't know, $200. Let's say $200, right? When there's a flood or earthquake, when an emergency happens and all the grocery stores are raided and everyone came and bought everything in the grocery store and you're struggling, like the people struggling to get toilet paper with the King Cobra and struggling to get latex gloves and struggling to get P95 masks. Remember all that? Remember all that struggling to get hand sanitizer? So imagine if you got hand sanitizer now. You're like, oh, this is where I'll just keep a gallon of hand sanitizer, keep it as a prep. It's worthless. It means nothing to me. But it becomes priceless when the emergency happens. And this is why you need to be a prepper. Because, yeah, it seems like you're throwing your money in a hole right now. It does seem like that for a situation that never may happen, right? But it will happen. And even if it's not Bible prophecy, which I believe the man of sin, if we live 20 years, you will see the man of sin. You will see the man of sin 10, 20 years. If Bill Gates is already doing a microchip to pay cryptocurrency, to put it in your hand, if we're already seeing the patenting is here, you think, I'm going to get this patented and maybe in 100 years we're going to start this. They're already doing Neuralink to put a chip in your head. I believe we'll see it, right? The man of sin. We'll see Bible prophecy pop off. You know what I'm saying? But that there will be someone to come. Let's say you're stuck on the side of the road, and that's $60 or $40. It used to be 40, it's like $60, right? And it's like, yeah, I could jump your car with this, but I'll sell it to you for $150. You're stuck in the middle of nowhere. You'll pay it. If you don't have food for your, I'll do a picture of a water straw. Let's say a water straw, because there's times where people go without drinkable water. This happens every day, right? Different parts of the world, right? Show you a little water straw. Hopefully you can see this picture. I try to get the picture with the guy drinking through the water, all right? So you see that water straw. That water straw used to be like $15. That water straw, $15, they're like 20 bucks now, right? You should always have a water straw, one for each of your family. It does a couple of gallons, maybe 3 per family, right? I don't really tell you guys what True Hebrews United do, but we be doing some stuff. So, $15, you'll never use it. Throw it in your closet. Don't even worry about it. It's useless. It holds no value to you. But then when the situation happens and you go online and that same water straw is $100 because there's barely any drinking water. That same water straw is for $100 and you have 5 in your family. And now you're spending $500 to get 5 water straws that were only $15 or $20 a year earlier. So it's always a times 10 times 20 multiplier, because now it's going to be priceless, because you don't know which water you could drink, which water that you're not going to get some bacteria or cholera. You don't know. And yes, this doesn't prevent from heavy metals. This is mainly for bacteria and parasites and stuff like that. So if there is a well or a pond that had aluminum or lead or something, right, this ain't going to protect from that. But the majority of, rivers or streams and whatnot don't have heavy metals in it. So this becomes priceless. This is why you need to be a prepper, because it's for when you get to the point where there's a shutdown and the stuff is not even available on Amazon, or not even available, because some of this stuff you buy on preps, you got to go to the website. They don't even sell it. Maybe Amazon, but a lot of this prep stuff you get, or a lot of this specialty items, you're not going to get at a Target or a Walmart. You're going to have to go directly to the website, maybe Amazon, but more likely directly to the website. And then when everything's down, either they're sold out or it's not available. Either way, it's not available. Or the price is so high you can only get one, or can't get it at all. You just can't afford it, right? Because if there's an emergency, more likely most people are caught with their pants down. They may not have the money to deal with that emergency, the average American. Because if these were $100 a pop, then the majority of people, they'll probably buy 1 or 2 for a family of 5. Because that's all they could afford. I can only afford 2 water straws. They're $100 a pop right now. I remember when they were 20, right? So it's like, if we're watching and praying, and he tells you to watch and pray, he tells you to do that to prepare for the days to come. So if you really believe that the mark of the beast is going to come, or you really believe that this is Babylon, or you really believe these things we're getting close, then what preparations are you making? Put your faith with your works. So hopefully that was edifying to you. With all that said being done, keep standing. Don't drop standards. Give the Almighty a hand clap. Shalom.